Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way, and you can make it with me. So right now, you guys, we are continuing on the Splendid Sampler to quilt along. We are working on the block of the grandfather clock. There we are. And tonight, we are going to work on the embroidery. So we transferred our design to the embroidery last night. Ooh, we did it for 8:30, so there we are, just like that. And I'm gonna put it in my embroidery hoop tonight and stitch it on. So I don't have any of these circles attached yet, but here is our block so far. So last night we made the small circle using the yo-yo technique. And then we made this large applique circle with that interfacing technique where we sewed the circle all together and then turned it right side out through the fusible. So I'm going to fuse this down later after we finish the embroidery. So right now we're going to do the embroidery, and then we're going to use the tinfoil technique to make a circle after we finish the embroidery. But got to do that first. So first things first, let's start stitching this tonight. I don't think it's going to take that long at all. I think we'll actually get to the point of doing all the fusible stuff, or the tinfoil technique tonight for circle applique. So, all right, thanks again, you guys. I'm gonna flip you around. Let's get going. All right. So we made it through the cold today, you guys. Feeling good about that. We were out and about a little bit. It was brisk and refreshing, but yeah, definitely didn't want to get stuck anywhere today. All right, so I'm throwing this into my little embroidery hoop here. So I have a little 4-inch embroidery hoop. Trying to get my camera to stop shaking a little bit. All right, here we are. And I'm just gonna throw the design right in the center there. Plop the outer hoop over. Oh no! Is that the case? So my mom was heading out of town, but she said it's too cold to fly. Ugh, are you stuck in a hotel somewhere then? Oh, Jane, the video is working well for you tonight. Yay! Glad to hear that. I was wondering, so this morning, so my parents were going to go fly out of town, and we were wondering, is anyone going to be able to fly because it's -50 outside, -50 degrees Fahrenheit. So this morning I heard airplanes going, so I thought, oh, maybe. Oh, so you're stuck. You're stuck. Boo! So she's stuck waiting for an airplane, I guess. I don't know how that's going to go. Gonna wait till Friday for that airplane. All right, so I just shimmied this over a little bit because I didn't have enough fabric on the side to kind of pull on it. I want this to kind of be taut here. And I was distorting my circle, so you can kind of see I'm distorting it a little bit. Ideally, it'll still be circular. But I think it'll all just kind of pop back once I'm done stitching. But there we go. Tighten that up. All right, we're ready. I got my embroidery in here. So I'm going to, here's my little case. You guys have seen this before. This is my little, I'll show it to you later again. This is by Sarah Lawson of So Sweetness, this design for this bag. And, you know, right now we're a little close up, but I'll share it again later. So I think I need to pick a color, and I'm kind of leaning towards this gray that we've been using. It's kind of, you know, goes with the taupes of the rest of it, and I think we'll be able to see it on this white without it being too overwhelming. But now that I'm looking at it, maybe it's a little light. Maybe we do something a little bit brighter. We could do this gold maybe. The gold would go with this. Oh man, it's supposed to be 65 by you guys. Oh man, we are 100 degrees colder than you. Isn't that nuts? That's just crazy to think about. So I'm just kind of paging through my scrap. This is all my scrap embroidery floss that I have going on here. We could do brown. That's maybe a little darker. You know, this is quite a bit darker than what this gray would look like. Let's just see what, you know, if I just put like one bit across. All right, so this is kind of maybe a subtle gray to do it. I think it's maybe a little too subtle though. So I have this kind of tan, but this, geez, this is a ball. A ball and not ball here. That might be a little dark. I wonder if I have, you know, this is kind of, I have this weird mass of stuff. Is this the same? Oh, that is the same. Well, let's use that because it has less threads in. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go with this tan color. Just, you know, we spent a lot of time on this one, and maybe I do want it to pop a little bit more. So I think I'm going to use this brown here. And it's going to be really thin stitching. So I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I don't have any other colors really in my bin here. They're all a bit bright, and I'm you know, I usually stitch with tons of bright colors, but you know, I've been using all these subdued colors, so it's a little weird for me. So we're going to use this. It's already kind of cut to 24 inches or so. That's what I like stitching with. I'm going to separate the thread. So this already has been separated. There's only 4 strands of floss here. Usually there's 6, but I'm using scraps. So I'm going to separate them into 2. So in the instructions, it has that we just use 2 strands of floss. So that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, Gina, gold metallic would be amazing. I do not have any gold metallic in my scrap bin, and I'm using only scraps for this really. But man, now I kind of want to go get some metallic thread. I do have metallic sewing thread and an embroidery floss, but oh man, we're not gonna get so fancy here tonight. All right, let's see. I'm gonna grab a needle here. Hold on. I have some needles in the top of my embroidery, that little embroidery case thing. So here we are. Nice sharp needle. Oh, let's put these 2 strands back together. So in the instructions, they mentioned putting an interfacing on here, and I did not do that. I don't typically put an interfacing on when I embroider. It's just, I haven't really done it that much, so maybe I should give it a try again sometime. The one thing that I do think it will help with is that you won't be able to see the stitches as easily from the back, which would be good. But, you know, we're just going to see the stitches here and just live with it. So, all right, I'm looking kind of at the instructions here. These are straight stitches, which just means we just stitch from one end to the other. So those are just kind of large stitches. So that should go really, really quickly. And then these lines are back stitched. And I think the reason they're back stitched is because they are a little bit longer. Yeah, Suzanne, that's what I'm suspecting, is that it's just to hide the threads. But I don't know, I guess I'm not worried about that so much. We're just gonna keep it as is. I'm hoping that once we get quilting and we get all our other stuff in, you won't think about the stitches so much. So I'm gonna start with an away knot, and that's where I tie a knot on one end, and then I go really far away, like 4 inches or so from where I'm gonna start, and I go from the front to the back, and there's my knot there, kind of out of my way. I'm gonna start right at the top here. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to start at the top there. Let's start. I think I'm going to start here. No, I'm going to start here, and then I'll go all the way around, and then I'll jump back to the arrows. All right, so usually, like I said, I start pretty far away. I was going to start up here, but then I mapped it out a little bit differently. Since I'm working on a small space, I don't have an ability to make this length very long, so I'm going to just hold the thread behind me here. So what I'm trying to do is leave myself enough thread here so I can stitch it in the back of my stitches later, so I don't end up with any knots on the back of my piece at all. So I'm just going to put my fingers in there for now. Normally I would just come all the way up, but I only have like an inch or so, or 2 inches there, and that's not going to be enough. So I'm just going to hold my fingers there for a little bit. And this away knot, oop, shoot, my knot came through. So actually I'm just going to hold it there. We'll just hold that. This will all make sense in a little bit, why I'm holding this edge here. Holding this extra floss. So let's just stitch for now. Yeah, you are going to see my jumps across. So an interfacing may have been a good idea. I'm going to have to look into that more. I know that's a thing that people do with embroidery a lot. I just don't. When I have used it in interfacing, I can see like the dots of the interfacing or the fusible part of the interfacing through my embroidery. So I don't, that's not much better than seeing these stitches. So I don't know. I have put batting on the back before, and that's hid the stitches and given it like a little poofiness, which is kind of nice. Jane, this will totally make sense in a little bit once I get around here. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving an end here because I'm going to weave in this end into the backs of the stitches instead of tying a knot, and it's going to make the back of my embroidery just nice and clean. Oh, some people just use another piece of muslin in back. Yeah, we could have done that. That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe next time we'll try that. I have a lot of spare muslin around, so that would be a nice thing to try. So you're basically just stitching through 2 pieces of fabric. One just kind of is a barrier in between the backs of your stitches and the front of the fabric, meaning it would hide the stitches a little bit, especially on a white fabric like this. But we're just going to deal with it. The end. These are cute, these big stitches. All right. Ooh, got a little bit of a knot, but it went away. Yeah, this is going to go super quick tonight. I think so too, Kay. So this doesn't look as overpowering with just the 2 strands of thread, I don't think. I mean, it does look dark still, but I think it's kind of sweet. It's still going to be subtle compared to some of the bright fabrics that I'm using every once in a while on here. Can you hear my faucet drip? we have all the faucets with a slight drip going, so our pipes don't freeze. Oh yeah, Barbara, this is going much faster than I expected to. It's just because we're doing these big stitches. So there's not actually much to embroider here. Yeah, I think it'll blend well when we're done here. I mean, it's not like I'm using like a bright teal or something here. That would be different from the realm of colors I've been using. So this kind of tan is doing the job just fine, I think. It's cute. So my circle does look a little wonky here. That should ease its way out again. There we go. Halfway around. I like these little V's and X's. Oh, you have to keep the light on in the house so it doesn't freeze. Yeah, so we have little drips of water going, and you know, then you don't want to turn down your heat either. Like if you're leaving or something, you want to leave your heat at normal. And I guess you want to, I heard that you want to clean, you want to like switch your furnace filter too in theory, but we just did that a little while ago. So I'm not as worried about that. Oop, catching my thread there. I like how tall these letters or these numbers are. Cute, cute. Oh gosh, I wonder if I'm going to run out of thread here. I thought there's no way I'll run out of thread. There's so much on that I started with, but you know, we're stitching these big stitches and traveling quite a bit around. I think we'll have just enough though. That's what I'm hoping for. This needle is nice and sharp. It's working well. Oh yeah, we're totally gonna get this done, and we're gonna do that tinfoil technique. I think it'll be super easy tonight to get all of that done. Okay, you have dripping faucets 2. Low will be 18 tonight, a positive number, not below 0. Ooh, those positive numbers. So you guys, I think it's supposed to be like 40 degrees by Saturday. So negative 40 degrees today, basically, and 40 positive degrees like around Saturday. So what the heck? That's crazy town. That'll be so nice though. People will be back in shorts, I bet, walking around outside. All right, we are just about done here. I'm gonna start those arrows now, and I'm really nervous about having enough floss. I think I may just barely have enough. All right, I'm gonna start out with these little arrow points. I'm just jumping right up to here. Oh, I like this brown. This is it's sweet looking. I like it. Yep, people will have their flip-flops out again. I bet they will. I think I'm going to do this in like 2 big stitches. This is about the size. Normally, I might not. I would probably do 3 stitches here. That would be my normal kind of stitch length. But because we have like precedent of these larger stitches, I'll just do 2 big stitches just to get her done. I think that'll help preserve some floss for me too. All right, I'm going back down here. I did 8:30 here, so it's the same. It's about the time when we start our Facebook Lives in the evening here, so I thought that'd be a cute time. All right, and now I'm keeping a similar stitch length, but I'm doing 3 stitches because this is the longer hand. Oop, dropped my needle. Okay, and then these little points here. Almost done. This wasn't, in my brain, the idea that there was embroidery in this black was like, oh man, it's gonna take a long time, but this was like what? 20 minutes. 20 minutes or less. All right, cute, cute. All right, so now we have these two ends here. I'm going to weave in my end on the needle here in between stitches that are already here. So I'm going to weave it into the backs of the stitches 3 times. It's kind of that third time that kind of locks it in place. I'm going to kind of grab as many threads as I can along the way. And there we go. And then I'm going to just trim it close to the thread here. So that's how I end my embroideries. I don't tie any knots at all. I just weave in the ends, and I think that holds everything really solid, and even through the wash and stuff, this shouldn't come out. And that's why I left this long bit at the beginning. So I have that knot on because the knot came through, so I'm going to trim that. But I leave this end at the beginning so that now I can weave in that end as well. So we'll just kind of catch a couple of these threads and go back and forth a little bit. And that way I don't have any knots on the back. Like I'm not starting with a knot either, which I like. I think it just makes a cleaner back. And when I'm stitching, when I'm embroidering and I have a knot on the back, I catch my thread on that knot so much that it just becomes so annoying. So not having it on here at all just makes me happy. It's just a nice flat back. Nice and clean. Irene, I did not find a button for the center yet, but I am still planning on it. I'm going to put the button on last. So what we're talking about here is I thought it'd be cute, or someone here thought it'd be cute, and I agree that it'd be cute to put like a little button in the center. There is a little tiny applique piece. I mean, we could, if I were to do this, I'd probably do it a yo-yo style like this, where I sew around the edge like we did last night and then pull it taut around this, but this would just be so cute as a little button, I think. So I have not looked for the button yet, but I will. But I'm going to put it on at the end. So I'll sew all these pieces down, and then I'll stitch this through all the layers, which I think will be kind of cute because it'll, since it's attached on these edges and attached in the middle, it'll kind of like poof out from the middle a little bit, and I like that idea. So I will still look for a tiny little button. I have all my buttons organized, so I'll bring that out. Maybe we'll check that out tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, so tomorrow is actually a new block day. So we'll see how that goes. But all right, we are done with the embroidery, so I'm going to take this out. And we are going to try this tinfoil method of making a circle, because we still have to turn this into an applique piece. All right, my little 4-inch embroidery hoop. So we need to make this into a circle, just like how we did the other night. But we're using a different technique. We are going to use the tinfoil technique. So I have not done that with an embroidered piece before, but I think it should probably work just the same. So let's give that a go. Oh, and Friday is Finish It Friday. Gretchen, you are totally right. Friday is February, isn't it? Oh my God. So you guys, every first Friday of the month, we do Finish It Friday, which is when we take a project that's just been sitting around and we work on that instead. So we drop everything and we do a different project. I'll have to see what I have laying around here. I definitely have a lot of unfinished projects. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not going to spray it with water first. I suppose you could. Like now would maybe be a good time to get rid of the blue water-soluble marking pen, but I haven't really been doing that at all along the way. I'm going to just wait till the end of my whole project to do that. And I am going to use it right now. Let's put the right side down. I am going to use it right now. I can see through. I can see the line. So I'm going to put my template piece right on there. And let's see. Didn't we spray this with starch? I think we might have sprayed this with starch too before doing it. So you know what? I have my little spray here. I'm going to just hold. I think this will last long enough. My template here. So I can just spray directly on here. I don't know. We'll give it a try while my iron heats up a little spritzes. Ooh, maybe that's quite a bit. Oh well, we'll see how this goes. So all right, now I'm going to slowly bring the tin foil up. I'm going to go just little by little. I want to feel the edge of this template and go little by little. The smaller little movements you make on this, ooh, I did get starch just everywhere. The smaller movements you make though on this, the better your circle is gonna look, I think. So I got this edge. Oh, you're right, Bonnie. I should have cut this down first. Well, oh well. We'll just have to cut it down afterwards now. I forgot to trim my fabric. It does not need to be this long. Oh, I didn't want to get any of this on my wool pressing mat, but I think I did. You know what? I'm going to grab a little... Let's get this guy on here. Ooh, now that's a yucky looking rag. All right, so I'm just getting these edges really nice on here. Just gonna go around again. Yep, this is the correct template. Oh, Leslie Ann, the foil method never works for you? So this isn't my only my second time using this. We gave this a try on our last circle. I'm gonna just kind of squish all this so it's out of the way. And I'm just gonna press on these edges, I think. So hopefully my iron has warmed up enough here. Ooh, look at it steam. So I am pressing, ooh, that one looks a little wonky. If you have any wonky edge, like if your circle doesn't turn out quite perfect, you can tweak it a little bit when you stitch it down, I think. So this is going to look how it's going to look right now. But what I'm doing is I'm heating up the edge, really. And that should be, it should be drying out our starch, and it's giving us that nice circular edge. Oh, I have no idea. Are you using Jane? Are you using steam? Just the water hitting the wool might make it smell. I don't know. I might have to. I'll have to Google that because I know some other people have been having that issue as well. All right, I wonder if that did the job, you guys. I think I might heat it up just a little bit more. Ooh, no, this feels hot. So, all right, I'm gonna take this out. So again, I skipped the step. Yeah, exactly, Mary. I forgot to cut it down before I folded it up. Oh, and I could have cut down this tin foil too, so you can press on the top, but I only really need these edges. So I missed a few steps here, but all in all, I'm hoping it'll still work out. Oh, I might have made it too wet. I think I did. It's pretty wet yet. Let's just do it off of the tin foil for a little bit. And I noticed I put marker on my postcard that I did here. And I'm hoping that marker is not coming off right now on the front of this. If so, we'll be making this again. But anyway, I should have a pretty good edge here now. So I'm going to pop out my template. And there we go. We got the start of our circle. So again, I should have trimmed this beforehand. So I'm going to do that quickly now. We'll use just our little scissors here. And then I'll do this again really quickly. There. This is the part I should have done beforehand. But anyway, the tinfoil method in general. And I think this would work better with one of those plastic templates that you can iron. Just because, you know, I got mine wet here with the starch. Probably a little bit too much starch. Getting ahead of myself, I suppose. And that kind of wrecks the edge of my template a little bit. But all in all, we do have that nice circular edge here still. I'm going to hit it again a little bit now. Just to reinforce it a bit. Oh yeah, there. That's doing it now. So in theory, I would do this with the tinfoil and everything on still, but I got it a little wet. And I forgot to cut down the outside. But that fold is there, that fold from the tinfoil. And that is what's going to give us this nice circle. There we go. That's looking a whole lot better. There we are. So it's spreading a little the water-soluble ink, but that'll come out later once I wet down the whole thing. Oh, it goes this way. But there, so now all we have to do is stitch this down as well. And that's just that's another technique for making circles. Not bad at all. So yeah, so some of these points and stuff that you see, like little points in the circle, that will all resolve once we hand stitch it down. So let's take a look at this. Let's head back to my little guy here. So this will go up here. So I also didn't mark my center point, so I'm going to just kind of eyeball it all. But that will go here. Oh, I did mark this center point. So about right like that. And then this guy will go on the front. Oh, he'll be cute. So I think how I'm going to do this is we're going to try fusing. I think we'll do this right now. I'm going to try fusing this fusible to the back here. I'm going to try and center it the best I can. I think I'm going to try pinning it down. So I got those new pins. We could try these new pins. I'm supposed to be able to iron over these pins, so let's give that a go. They have these little silicone ends on them. So I just kind of want to center this. And we'll try pressing this. So again, this fusible back that I'm using here, it is so old that I don't actually think it's going to fuse. But if not, you know, I'll just leave it pinned here. So I'll want to stitch this on first. And then afterwards, I think I'll stitch the face on. All right, so let's give this a go. My iron's nice and hot. I'm just going to leave my little mat here. And this guy can go out of the way. And so now the theory is that since I put that fusible on the back here, I should just be able to fuse this down and it should stay. But like I said, it's old and I'm not sure the glue dots work anymore. But maybe it will just enough to hold it there in place for us to stitch it down. Ooh, look how cute though. It's flattening out, which is sweet. Cute, cute, cute. right, I'm gonna try and remove these pins. It's a little flatter now. Just get it on there. Yeah, I like these pins too. So I got these pins off of Mass Drop, and yeah, they have these little silicone ends on there. I haven't used them yet. This is my first time using them, which seems silly. I should use them more often. But yeah, I want to replace a bunch of pins that are on my pin cushion because they're all bent. So I was going to replace them with these. But these came with such a cool case that I haven't like taken them out of the case. I like the case. All right, did this stick? Not really. It's trying to a little bit. I mean, it's not falling off, so it might have glued itself down enough for me to stitch it, which is the idea. Oh, turn it over? Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, because then the fusible is closer to the iron by turning it over like this. You're right. Let's give that a try. Okay, good suggestion. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty old. That might be all I get out of it. But that's pretty good. So how cool is that, though? Not only did we make a totally perfect circle from sewing all the way around like that, but it's fused. So that, you know, that's still one of my favorite techniques. I could see if you were making a big quilt with a ton of circles, that would totally be the technique to go with, I think, personally. Just sew that fusible on the back. Turn them all right side out and fuse them all down before stitching them. I think that works fabulous. So, all right. So next up, and we'll get started on this a little bit later, I think. I don't think I'm going to start stitching tonight. Oh, you guys, we do have a ton of time, though. I could. I think I will. So, all right, we're going to start stitching this down here. I'm going to just let this guy hang out by himself still. But yeah, so I want to stitch this down, and then after that, this will go on, and that I won't do tonight. And then this, and then we just need that little button, and I might wet that down before we get, before I sew on that button too. But yeah, so let's just start stitching. So let's get Zeb out here. Here we are. I'm gonna throw this embroidery needle back onto Zeb, and we are going to grab, there we go, a nice skinny straw needle. So this is like that size 11 straw needle again. And I like those straw needles because they're a bit longer. And I'm going to just grab from this bobbin again here. So I'm not going to take more than 18 inches. Let's just trim that. Okay, let me settle in here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you guys in a bit. Oh, Heather, you are in the same boat as me. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota here, so yeah, we're in the negative bajillion. All right, so let's thread this needle. It can be tough. These have super small eyes, these needles. All right, for this I'm just gonna tie a knot in one end. I'm just gonna wrap it around a bunch of times and pull it through. Oh my gosh, I'm already stabbing myself. Okay, so I'm gonna start, I always kind of start on the lower right-hand side if I can. In graphic design, this is one thing that we learn is that the lower right-hand corner is, at least in America, the least looked at place normally because we read from right to left or left to right, top to bottom. So this is kind of the last place that our eye naturally looks. So I always kind of start and end my stuff there. So it's the least visible. I don't know if that's ends up being true really, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm coming up through the back of the fabric, and I'm grabbing, oh, you can barely see my needle there, but I'm just grabbing a few little threads there. Okay, so now I'm going for my first stitch, I'm going to go directly across, but only in the back fabric. And then in the same motion, I'm going to come up in that front fabric, but like a stitch length away. All right, so that's going to be my first stitch. And what that's going to do is it's going to make one tiny little stitch right there. So that's my one tiny stitch. So I'm basically just tacking it down right there. So that's the whole deal with you know, this little applique stitches. We're just making these tiny tack down stitches around the edge. So just in directly across, just in the back fabric, and then coming back up a stitch length away through both the back and the front. The other thing I'm going to watch out for is that I can kind of see my interfacing come from the back. I'm going to make sure that I'm only grabbing the front fabric, and then I can kind of yank it over that. When I tack it down, when I pull that tight stitch, it'll kind of pull the fabric over the interfacing. So I'm not going to go through the interfacing. I'm just going to try and grab the fabric itself. So I had a few little funny ends. And I can also push with the needle. I can push that interfacing underneath a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just going to cruise on around this. Like I said, this technique totally makes perfect circles, and I love it. So this is going to be easy peasy. I don't really even have to look out too much for funny little points and stuff. I think, yeah, Gretchen, the interface stuck. It's stuck enough. Like I have a hunch that if I pull on this, it'll pull off, but it's staying enough that I don't have to pin it. It's just there. So I'm pretty happy. Very, very happy about that. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to. But wow, yeah, I did not think we'd get this far tonight. Actually sewing on this edge. So here's part where I can see the interfacing wanted to come up. All this, where our blue line is, that's what we want to we want to pull the top stuff over, so it kind of covers that up. So I'm keeping my eye on that right now. I'm going to come up through the back and then maybe just grab the front a little bit. But there, so I've gone from here to there, and it's looking pretty cute. I love that you can see like the little stitches a little bit. But the look of needle turn applique like this, I just think is the sweetest. And we spent so much time on the stitching of this clock that might as well finish it off with some long technique like needle turn versus doing just a quick fusible, raw edge fusible. There's something very sweet about the needle turn. Oh man, Leslie Ann, warm sunshine and cold frozen margarita. Not here. That's for sure. Oop, there we go. Can't get into the right spot there. Ugh, my parents are stuck at the airport, or at least the airport hotel. I'm just thinking, I hope Mom brought an emergency craft project. Because that's what I would need if my plane was not going to take off because it's -1,000,000 out. I'll have to call her when we're done here and see how things are. See what the state of the state is with flying. We did hear a bunch of flights this morning, though, like I was saying, and this morning it was negative a lot. But it's funny, I guess right now I'm not hearing airplanes, and usually around this time of night I can sometimes hear airplanes a lot. I don't know why I keep setting this down. Like I keep setting it down to pull the thread through. Like I keep going like this, but I think I'm just kind of testing. I want to see if I've gone over my edge. But here's this edge again. But look now where I've stitched, you don't see it anymore. And that's what we're going for. Yeah, Barbara. Oh, I hate when they do all the de-icing too. I mean, it's not snowing, so I wonder how much de-icing they really need to do. Just for fun, you do needle turn. It's when you push the raw edge under yourself with the needle. Yep. So I mean, that's the straight up way, the real way to do needle turn. These are all like the cheater ways to do needle turn. So this has the same exact look as needle turn, as if we've tucked under the edge and then stitch it down and tuck it under and then stitch. This is like fake needle turn. We've prepped the piece beforehand before stitching it under. So yeah, in true needle turn, we'd have a raw edge here and we'd be flipping the edge under, flipping it under, hence needle turn. We'd be flipping it under before making our little stitch, but this little stitch would be the exact same, and this is going to have the exact same look as if we did it. We just cheated, which I think is pretty awesome in this case. But it is nice doing a full needle turn. You don't have to do all this crazy prep. So Linda, Chad does stay outside, so we'll see how he's doing in this cold weather, super duper cold weather. So Chad's the cat. He's my parents' cat, and he's an outdoor kitty. But we were just at my parents' this weekend, and we got to see Chad hanging outside, and dang, he is the biggest I've ever seen him. So he has grown so much fur and, I don't know, put on whatever fat that he needs, that I think he's going to be perfectly fine. He even thrives out there, I think. We let him inside for just a little bit, just to pet him. But he goes outside after that, and, you know, last time I took him out, he gave himself a bath in the snow, so I don't think he has any problem whatsoever. He used to sleep in this wood pile, but lately, it's like his little home, but lately he's been staying in the window well, because it's protected from snow, because there's a couple bushes there, and there's a bunch of like dry leaves down there, so I think he's made his little home there. Yeah, I mean he's an outdoor kitty. I think he's got it down. And yes, it's super cold compared to normal, but I think he will be just fine. My dad, we still feed him and everything, so he can go in the garage, and if he gets really cold, he can go in the garage, and there's a little kitty bed for him there, and there's water that's heated and food and stuff there for him, and you know what, he doesn't hunt himself. But I will give you the updates once my parents come home, and they can see if he's all right. You an outdoor kitty, but he has an in. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like Chad too. I mean, he can go in the garage where it's warmer and stuff. But he has his spot that he likes. Oh, you grew up in Wyoming and had kitties, and they always just went into the barn. Yeah, they can. My dad has a shed that Chad can go in. But I'm telling you, he was so poofy and furry that I think he's just fine. Ooh, I might run out of thread again here. Might not have got just enough. Little Chad. I'll have to put a picture of Chad in up on the Facebook page when I'm done here. We brought him in for a little bit when we were home. Such a good kitty. He's definitely an outdoor cat, though. He's way more comfortable outside than coming inside. But he's getting more and more used to hanging out with us indoors. But we've never had an actual indoor cat or an indoor pet. They've always been outdoor kitties. Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it all the way around. I'm going to try and push it as far as I can, though. I suppose I can make my stitches a little bit bigger. We're almost there. I only have to go to right here. This looks like a big orange. Oh, you have an outdoor kitty. You can't stand to be inside. Oh, he just cries to go outside. Oh, Chad doesn't cry, but you can tell that he always, once he settles in a place where he can see everything in every direction, and you know, he doesn't like loud noises and stuff, but he does like being pet, so I think he deals with being inside so we get all the scratches. Little Chad, I miss him already. Oops, sorry, guys, I just whacked you in the face. I have about 1.5 inches more to go here. Well, this is great. We're getting this part done tonight. I was not expecting that at all. So all we'll have now is we'll sew on that the clock face. We'll do that basically the same way we're doing now, except the edges will be pre-turned in a different way. They're pre-turned with the tinfoil method. I will have to pin that down though. I won't have I don't have the fusible on the back like I did this one. So that one I'll have to pin, which I find just a little more annoying than it just being all ready to go here. And then I'll also have to kind of tweak the little points on the edge and stuff too. Oh, your kitty's name is Frankie. I like cats with human names. I think they're funny. Barbara, I think for me it's been the most time consuming, although not technically if you consider that I have several that are still unfinished from way at the beginning, like that clamshell one. That one I don't have done, so technically, since this one is almost done, it hasn't taken me as long as those other ones, but I do think I put more time into this one. So yeah, I would say probably. This is probably the most time-consuming one so far. But I don't know, yeah, that clamshell one, some of those with all the handwork, those take a long time too. I mean, really, once you do this foundation paper piecing, once you get into the groove of that, I mean, we kind of took our time a little bit, but once you get into the groove, you can zip through it, I think. Okay, I think we're there, you guys. So I'm going to just go around where I left off. I'm going to just go around that spot once, and then I'm going to bring my needle to the back. So I'm just going around that edge one more time in the same spot, kind of lock it in place, and then I'm going to bring the needle to the back. Oh, I did not do the blue ribbon block yet. Oh gosh, you guys, I have so many unfinished blocks. So that's one I haven't even started yet. All right, so I'm just going to tie this in a knot on the back here. All right, and we're just going to call it there. All right, let's check it out. Oh, it's so sweet. Look how yellow it is there. So this will obviously get cut way down, the amount of yellow once we put the face on. Got a little maybe bumpy here, but I think it's looking cute. And this guy here too. All right, there we are for the night, you guys. I will keep this with I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We'll have a new block potentially, so maybe we'll just continue on this because we could almost get this done probably if we work on it tomorrow. Or we'll maybe start one of the new blocks. And yeah, and then there's Finish It Friday as well, so we'll have to take a look at I'd like to do something different, completely separate from the Splendid Sampler for the Finish It Friday, so I'll take a look at some of my unfinished projects, and it'll give me an excuse to clean up this area too. So, all right, I'm going to flip you guys around, and we'll call it an evening here. Hello. So let me show you the clock from this angle. I'm going to just hold down these little bits, but, cute. It is totally coming together. I do think maybe we will do a little bit of stitching around here still, like what was suggested, so the pendulum kind of pops, but maybe not. I don't know, it's kind of cute just like that. But I think this brown was a decent way to go. So from far away in the quilt, you'll be able to tell that something's going on there, that it's a little clock, which is good. I think I like it. Yep. All right, awesome. I like it. So I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies if you want to check out the embroidery and my kind of fumbled around tinfoil method. But if you do as I say and not as I do, basically for the tinfoil method, that process should work out pretty well for you if you wanted to give that a try as well. And then check out yesterday to see how we did those other 2 circles. But 3 different ways to do some circle appliques. So thanks. Oh, you guys stay warm as well and have a great day tomorrow. Good night.